Now on Coast TV News.
District 20 drama. With another no-show day for Representative Stell Parker Selby, there is a challenger already eyeing to take this seat in the next election.
Cannabis clash, we look at the latest marijuana legislation in Dover and how it would affect Sussex County.
Help for the homeless. The plans being reviewed today to create a facility in Lewis at a former state police barrack.
A cool and breezy Wednesday for Delmarva, then protect your plants tonight for the potential of frost. Then warming up into the Easter holiday weekend. All those details coming up.
This is Coast TV News Today.
It is Wednesday, April 16th, 2025. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us for our 5 o'clock hour.
We're moving closer to Easter, which means moving closer to some time off for many of you out there. I even went with an Easter-colored tie for the occasion.
Are you going to dye any eggs? That was my favorite part.
I don't think we have that on the agenda over the next couple of days.
Wow, my neighbor's
But
4
maybe
years
people are
old.
listening in my household.
Aww.
It might be something to consider.
My neighbor's 4 years old, so my mom's going to dye eggs with
that's
him because
nice.
her kids are grown up now. We're not home, but it's exciting. But Bob, we're all thinking about the weather being outside for Easter. It's always a nice thing, taste of spring.
It is, and we always look forward to decent weather for Easter, and I think this time around the weather will cooperate into the holiday weekend. More on that coming up. We're looking at temperatures, 49 degrees pretty much everywhere right now. Upper 40s to around 50 degrees, 50 in Ocean City, 49 in Georgetown, Milton 48, 49 in Rehoboth. As we're looking at gusty winds now, we had a cold front move through yesterday, and the winds already over 30 miles per hour at the beaches and gusting over 20 miles per hour in Seaford, Millsboro, and Ocean City. So it will be a breezy day, but a much drier day than yesterday, as we're seeing some clouds, but we're also seeing some clear skies too, as our flow is coming in out of the northwest right now. In fact, cold enough across the mountains of West Virginia into Pennsylvania for some snow, and they're seeing some snow into upstate New York as well. We're not going to see this snow. This moisture will be wrung out over the mountains, but we'll see that cold, breezy weather, cooler weather as we go through the day. So futurecast this morning, we're in the mid-40s, but with that breeze, feeling like 30, so make sure you bundle up. Then it's a slow climb through the 50s, and note how the arrows change color. We're going to be seeing those winds gusting over 30 miles per hour, and I think we top out near 60 many spots, especially away from the coast later on, and some 50s at the beaches, and breezy and pretty tolerable temperatures as we go into the evening hours. Those winds stronger into the afternoon, and our day part forecast has us around 58 by 3 o'clock. More on the cool weather. Protect your plants tonight for the chance of frost, and the holiday weekend once again looking pretty good. I'll have your full forecast details coming up a little bit later on.
Thank you, Bob. We are now getting a live look at Dover, and there is plenty of political intrigue occurring as the 153rd session of the General Assembly resumes today at Legislative Hall. We're nearly 3 months into that session, and the woman who represents District 20, Democrat Stell Parker Selby, continues to be a no-show. On Tuesday, Coast TV was in Dover at Legislative Hall looking for updates on Representative Parker Selby, and we were told the representative is on the road to recovery, but nobody could or would confirm that the representative is working from home. Starting today, there are about 75 days remaining of this session at Legislative Hall.
And just 6 months after Parker Selby won re-election, the woman who ran against her in November, Nikki Miller, says she is running again in 2024. Miller ran as a Republican to represent District 20. She lost by just 245 votes. According to her official Facebook page, she recently kicked off her campaign for 2026, running for that same seat.
And here's some background on Delaware House District 20. It covers practically all of Milton, parts of Lewis, parts of Harbison and Georgetown, and according to the Delaware Republican Party, there are over 23,000 registered voters in District 20. This does bring us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know what matters most in a local representative.
And so far, 66% of voters say their voting record, 29% say accessibility, 4% transparency, and 1% community presence. And if you haven't voted yet, you can still do so at coasttv.com or over on our mobile app.
From Dover, we're going to take a live look at Washington, D.C. And today in that building, the Capitol, we are not expecting to see Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen. He says he's traveling to El Salvador in the attempt to bring back the U.S. an illegal migrant who was living in Maryland and who was deported by the Trump administration.
As NBC's Alice Barr shows us, the battle is over who the Trump administration can deport and who it can't, and what role the federal courts play in that process.
This morning, an escalating legal test as a federal judge issued new orders for the Trump administration to turn over evidence of what it's done to abide by her ruling to bring Kilmar Abrego Garcia back to the U.S., signaling that without action so far, she's considering contempt proceedings against the administration. The father of 3 was deported to a notorious prison in El Salvador through what Justice Department officials initially called an administrative error.
Enough is enough. My family can't be robbed from another day without seeing Kilmar.
The Supreme Court has ruled the administration must facilitate Abrego Garcia's return to the U.S., but the White House argues El Salvador would have to first initiate his release.
He's from El Salvador, so that's a decision up to El Salvador.
Now arguing he was not mistakenly deported, pointing to a previous judge's ruling that Abrego Garcia was part of the MS-13 gang, though his attorneys dispute that, citing questionable testimony from a confidential informant. Abrego Garcia has never been criminally convicted in the U.S. or El Salvador. He entered the U.S. illegally in 2011 and was granted protected status in 2019 to prevent being deported to El Salvador because of potential dangers. He's been living in Maryland, and a Democratic senator from the state told a town hall he's headed to El Salvador today.
To work to bring him home.
Democrats pressing the issue as legal experts argue the case raises questions about due process for anyone in the U.S. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Happening today, Sussex County Planning and Zoning Committee is set to discuss a conditional use request for a homeless encampment on Route 1 called Tyros. Code Purple at the Cape is making that request, and Site Director Mike Agnew has been working to bring this community back. Tents were placed at the old Troop 7 lot in Lewis during the fall. Agnew says it's important for the homeless and community to get this up and running.
Should the county vote down the opportunity to open Tyros in April, then everything that we've accomplished since last October will be at a loss.
According to Agnew, he needs that conditional land use permit and approval from the Sussex County Council to reopen Tyros. If the Planning and Zoning Committee grants approval, that request could be taken up by County Council.
Also happening at that same Planning and Zoning meeting, there could be possible action on the proposal to bring more businesses and apartments to Lewis. That's at this farm property on Route 24. It's right next to the Beacon Middle School. The developers are asking the commission for a zoning change. The change is from agricultural residential to a C4 planned commercial district. Now, we went to the area and spoke to people who live near the Bellmead Horse Farm. Here's what one woman told us.
I came here because I felt that it was less congested than New York. You know, coming out of Queens, New York and going into Long Island, that's really a headache of traffic. So it looks like they're heading that way too.
And if the project is approved, construction is expected to be completed in 2032. The Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission meets tonight at 5.
This just in, the latest in governing recreational marijuana in Delaware. On Tuesday, the Senate passed a bill that limits government county from putting their own limits on marijuana businesses. If approved, counties cannot block the building permits of these businesses if they meet all requirements, and medical marijuana establishments that have permission to sell the drug recreationally must be allowed to keep operating even if it doesn't meet zoning rules. This comes after a recent protest from marijuana advocates at Delaware's Capitol over frustration and delays and restrictions. The bill is now being reviewed in the House.
Tonight in Lewis, how to plan for the city's future. And that will come in the form of a new comprehensive plan. According to Delaware law, a new plan must be adopted by the fall of 2027. The city's planning commission is looking for a professional consultant to develop it to include population and housing growth, along with expanding city boundaries. The commission is expected to review this at Wednesday's meeting and set a May deadline for submissions.
We are just getting started in this hour of Coast TV News today.
Coming up, coastal completion nears. We're getting the latest on the new Rehoboth Beach Patrol building, including the cost that's not meeting original projections.
Also, flooding fears update what could delay possible fixes in Fenwick Island.
And forever, No more. The last hope for the business that is set to close next month. All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
.512 on this breezy and cool Wednesday morning. Spicer Brothers Camp 49 in Salisbury. Good visibility this morning. Not dealing with any rain. We're looking at some clouds, otherwise some blue skies as well, but it's breezy and cool out there as we're in a northwesterly flow. Seeing some mountain snow back through West Virginia into Pennsylvania. We're not going to see that. We're just going to see a chilly northwesterly breeze as we go through the day. Right now out the door, we've got temperatures in the upper 40s to around 50 in Ocean City, 49 in Rehoboth, 49 in Georgetown. Those winds gusting 20 to close to 30 miles per hour at the coast right now. So hang on to that steering wheel this morning, especially in open areas and all day as we're looking at gusty winds. I gave it the yellow light for the morning commute and also for the afternoon and evening commute as well, as those winds could be gusting up to 35 miles per hour at times with milder temperatures.
Bob, Delaware continues to make progress towards cleaner air. That's according to a new DENREC report. The agency released its annual air quality report that highlighted data from 2023. The report noted that despite pollution caused by wildfire smoke that occurred during the spring and summertime, the state recorded 353 days with air quality rated as good or moderate. DENREC officials say all 3 Delaware counties currently meet federal air quality standards. And for more information about this report, you can visit CoastTV.com.
People in Lewis are learning how city funds can be divided after a finance committee meeting on Tuesday. The goal of the city's investment policy is restructuring the funding into 4 categories. Each is designed for both the short-term needs and long-term investments of the city, and this proposal is still under review. It will also need the mayor and city council for approval.
If you have a Forever 21 gift card or store credit, time has run out to use them. April 15th was the last day cards were valid. The retailer is preparing to close all of its stores after filing for bankruptcy in March. Forever 21 began its liquidation sales a few weeks ago. All locations will be closed no later than May 1st, unless, of course, a potential buyer steps in.
On location filming in Hollywood and the surrounding area it's plunged. That's according to a new report from Film LA, which is in charge of film permits for Los Angeles and Los Angeles County. The report states filming in the greater LA area decreased 22% during the first quarter of this year when compared to the same period last year. The decline wasn't due to January's devastating wildfires. The report found those had a minimal impact on production.
We're seeing some choppy water right now in the Hershey exteriors, Cam. It's breezy to windy out there, 50 in Ocean City right now. And we're going to be looking at a breezy and cool day on the way. Then protect your plants tonight for the potential of patchy frost. And then warming up as we head into the upcoming Easter holiday weekend. I'll have your full forecast coming up in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Time is 5:17, and we're getting a live look at a breezy Ocean City on this Wednesday morning. And Bob, with that breeze, it probably feel a little cooler today, but I'm excited about what you're laying down for Saturday.
Oh boy, yeah. Everybody's eyes go to Saturday on the extended forecast, Matt, because we are looking at a big warm-up as we head into the Easter holiday weekend. But before we get there, we're looking at a bit of a cool down now. Average highs are 66 degrees, 60 for a high today, and it's going to be feeling even colder with the wind. 62 on Thursday, up to 70 on Friday, and then, wow, up to 80 degrees on Saturday. That'll be nice. A little cooler on Easter Sunday, but still pretty nice around 72, and right now it's looking dry. Here's your temperatures at the present time. Cooler than yesterday, but still not that bad. 48 in Del Mar, 49 in Georgetown, 47 in Milton with 49 in Rehoboth down to Bethany Beach, and 50 in Ocean City. However, it's feeling cooler because we're seeing gusty winds. Looks like they've come down a little bit now, gusting to 23 Indian River Inlet. You were gusting to 30 earlier on. 17 in Millsboro. It was over 20 miles per hour earlier, but still pretty breezy out there as we're seeing a few clouds. Otherwise, we're seeing some stars as well. We're looking at a northwesterly flow. Cooler air is building in, and even some snow showers across the mountains of West Virginia, Maryland, into Pennsylvania, and even into upstate New York. They're seeing some snow. We don't have to worry about that. All that moisture will be wrung out over the mountains, but we're looking at a cooler northwesterly flow as we go through today as high pressure is building in from the west. So from the Mississippi River to the east, it's pretty quiet, except for some of those lake effect snow showers. Futurecast this morning has us in the 40s, but feeling cooler with the wind. You can see the gold colored arrows by mid-morning indicating the stronger winds as we slowly climb through the 50s by 1 p.m. Upper 50s away from the coast, and I think a lot of us get into the lower 60s or around 60 by 4 p.m. and then some mid to upper 50s at the beaches. Then tonight, if the winds go calm, we're looking at some patchy frost tomorrow morning. If they stay up a little bit, then maybe a little bit of frost. But right now we're thinking about 36 to 38 degrees inland areas. You really need about 36 degrees to produce frost. So there is that chance away from the coast at the, inland areas. And then at the coast, we're looking at temperatures in the low 40s. And then as we go into your Thursday, looking at temperatures into the low 60s, not as chilly as we head into Friday morning with temperatures in the low 40s. Those winds gusty today. Make sure you secure those outdoor items gusting over 30 miles per hour. Then just how much of those winds diminish overnight? If there is still a bit of a breeze and those winds mix things up, then that frost will not be as widespread, maybe just a little bit here and there. So protect your plants just in case as that colder air mass is moving in. And then as we head towards the end of the month, we're looking at above normal temperatures, especially for Easter holiday weekend and beyond. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, 60 today, 36 with that frost potential tomorrow morning, 62 on Thursday, then up to 70 on Good Friday. Saturday, oh boy, that's looking nice, 80 degrees, maybe a sprinkle Saturday night with the front, slightly cooler Easter Sunday, 72, and then mild and dry into early next week. And congratulations to Danny Jenkins from Milton on winning a brand new umbrella from Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling and Coast TV.
Thank you, Bob. Happening today in Fenwick Island, a focus on flooding issues. The town's infrastructure committee scheduled to hear an update from the Flooding and Storm Water Working Group. That group is tasked with finding solutions. Finding money to pay for those solutions, it's a current challenge. They are still waiting to hear back from DEMA to use demonstration projects, but have not heard back yet. Property owners say flooding is getting worse.
Occasional, every other year, 1-inch floods, and within 2 or 3 years they were 2-inch floods, and then there were several of them, and then they became 4-inch floods.
And these updates will be discussed at this morning's Infrastructure Committee meeting.
Up next on Coast TV News Today, coastal completion. As summer gears up, we'll tell you when officials say one of Rehoboth Beach's biggest projects will reach an end. Don't go anywhere.
Got an update in Rehoboth Beach. Crews are in the final stretch of construction on the new Beach Patrol headquarters. City says the contractor is working to complete this project over the next 35 days. Officials say some of the last steps on the outside include siding, landscaping, and sidewalks. Also on the to-do list, tiling and drywall. The city says the project is running about $750,000 over budget to meet that mid-May deadline.
New this morning, volunteers took to the trails this weekend at Cape Henlopen State Park. On your screen right now is some of the work to clean up that area. Friends of Cape Henlopen State Park say volunteers began at the Nature Center and then worked their way down to Seaside Nature Trail. About 70 pounds of trash was collected, and the group says people can join its Earth Day celebration on April 22nd, where they will clean up around East Louis.
All right, here is an exciting story for us here in the morning. This morning, your pick-me-up won't cost you a thing. Wawa is celebrating Wawa Day. I should have that marked on my calendar by offering free any size hot coffee at all its locations. People can take advantage of the promotion at the self-service bar at stores. According to the company, this year marks its 61st anniversary, also the opening of its expansion into Ohio. Wawa says it expects to serve about 1.5 million cups of coffee today.
Easter is right around the corner, and you can start your Easter Sunday with music and meaningful conversation if you celebrate with Sunrise Sermons 2025, The Final Sacrifice. Services begin at 7 a.m. on Coast Country, 9:30 on the Del Mar Sports Network, and at 10:30 right here on Coast TV. And Matt, yesterday the rain, it was sunny, it was rainy, then there was a lot of rain, then there was no rain. I was trying to figure out because I wanted to spend time outside, but luckily Bob says no rain today, just cooler.
That's good. I'll take that.
Yeah.
You know, it was wild because it was raining at times. I don't know if you want to categorize it heavy, Bob, but there was a steady downpour, and then some point in the afternoon, hey, the sun's out, flowers out.
There was the sun. Nice to see.
It was nice.
After about 2 o'clock, but before then, guys, yeah, it was a good soaking. And when I left work, I was like, these guys look kind of dark and ominous. We didn't have any severe weather, but definitely a good soaking. Not looking at rain today along the beaches, a mix of sun and clouds. It will be windy, so we're looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 50s for Fenwick Island and Ocean City, but feeling much colder with the wind. And some whitecaps heading up to Cape May on the ferry from Lewis, looking at upper 50s there. Waves around 2 to 4 feet on the Atlantic. And in Rehoboth, we're looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. At Cambridge, a high around 60 today, but it will be windy and similar conditions for Crisfield as well. So hang on to your hats and the steering wheel too, as it will be a windy day. And then protect your plants tonight for the potential of frost, and pretty good heading into the Easter holiday weekend. More on that coming up in the next half hour.
The break on Coast TV News today, DelDOT Safety Suggestions will tell you how the agency is looking for ways to make roads safer for drivers and pedestrians in the first state. And Representative Parker Selby is still absent in the Delaware General Assembly. We'll tell you how that could mean trouble for the seat that covers Milton and parts of Lewis. Coast TV News today will be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
No shows, speculation. Delaware State Representative still Parker Selby continues to be absent from Legislative Hall. Now one candidate is gearing up to challenge her in the next election.
Lifting limits, that is what one marijuana bill is attempting to do in Delaware, and the impact it could have on Sussex County.
Designs debated.
How are we going to get in and out of our development?
The concerns over a big DelDOT project planned for west of Lewis.
A cool and breezy Wednesday for Delmarva, then protect your plants tonight for the potential of frost, then warming up into the Easter holiday weekend. All those details coming up.
This is Coast TV News Today.
April 16th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
We're approaching 5:31 on this Wednesday morning. Bob and I were talking during the break. We're both excited because we have some day baseball today.
Well, I'm excited too because my team won last night.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I don't think the team that they beat, the fans of those in our area, were too happy.
Yeah,
but
sorry to Baltimore fans. It's a good day for me today, though.
I'm happy for you, Elisa.
Thank you, Matt. I can really feel that. Oh my gosh, that's so nice. Well, you know, Bob, tonight with your baseball, I don't know, it could be a good night to watch baseball. It's a little bit cooler outside today.
Yeah, it is. It's a little cooler. I know my Mets have some afternoon baseball in Minneapolis. I'm sure it's a lot cooler up there. And some of that air from Minneapolis is coming our way. It's cooler out there this morning with temperatures into the upper 40s, 47 in Milton, 49 in Georgetown. We're hoping to have 48, 50 in Ocean City as we're looking at gusty westerly winds, 23 miles per hour Indian River Inlet. They have come down since the past hour, but still pretty gusty, 21 miles per hour in Ocean City as we are watching some clouds moving through, but we're seeing some blue skies as well. So we'll be in and out of those clouds today as we have a northwesterly flow, seeing some snow across the mountains to our west. We're not going to see that, but definitely chillier air as we go through the day. So mid-40s this morning, but feeling much colder with the wind. We slowly rise to the 50s by noon, mid to upper 50s away from the coast, low to mid-50s at the beaches. And then by 3:30, it's windy, but temperatures not too bad, right around 60 or lower 60s as we go into the evening hours. For the kiddos at the bus stop, I would say definitely bundle up on the side of dressing for the colder weather. 48 degrees, breezy and cool. And then heading home 60, I'll say around 60 degrees, not 65, windy and cool conditions.
Thank you, Bob. We are now getting a live look at Dover, and the 153rd session of the Delaware General Assembly resumes there today at Legislative Hall. And we are nearly 3 months into this session of the Delaware General Assembly. And the woman who represents District 20, Democrat Stell Parker Selby, continues to be a no-show. On Tuesday, Coast TV was in Dover at Legislative Hall looking for updates on Representative Parker Selby. We were told the representative is on the road to recovery, and nobody could or would confirm that the representative is working from home. Starting today, there are about 75 days remaining of the session at Legislative Hall.
And just 6 months after Parker Selby won re-election, the woman who ran against her in November, Nikki Miller, says she is running again. In 2024, Miller ran as a Republican to represent District 20. She lost by just 245 votes, and according to her official Facebook page, she recently kicked off her campaign for 2026, running for that same seat.
We're now going to take a live look at Washington, D.C. Today in that building, the Capitol, we are expecting to see Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen. He says he is traveling to El Salvador in an attempt to bring back the U.S. illegal migrant who is living in Maryland and who was deported by the Trump administration. A federal judge issued new orders for the Trump administration to turn over evidence of what is done to abide by her ruling to bring Kilmer Abrego Garcia back to the U.S. The Supreme Court has ruled the administration must facilitate Abrego Garcia's return to the U.S., but the White House argues El Salvador would first have to initiate his release. Maryland Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen told Town Hall he is headed to El Salvador today.
The Trump administration itself has admitted that he was abducted and sent to this prison in error, and he should get his due process.
He's from El Salvador, so that's a decision up to El Salvador.
An immigration judge granted Abrego Garcia protection status in 2019, which means the government should not have had the right to deport him to El Salvador.
Here's the latest in governing recreational marijuana in Delaware. On Tuesday, the Senate passed a bill that limit county governments from putting their own limits on marijuana businesses. And if this is approved, counties cannot block the building permits of these businesses if they meet all requirements. And medical marijuana establishments that have permission to sell the drug recreationally, they must be allowed to keep operating even if it doesn't meet the zoning rules. This comes after a recent protest from marijuana advocates at Delaware's Capitol over frustration with delays and restrictions. The bill is now being reviewed in the House.
DELDA is asking the public for input on planned upgrades to Plantation Road near Lewis. The agency took suggestions at a public meeting Tuesday night. Community members brought up several concerns at that meeting.
My concerns are, how are we going to get in and out of our development? I'm on the east side, so I can't speak for the other side, but yeah, I mean, that's going to be really difficult.
It's a big part of the design process is hearing from the public. These are the guys that drive the road and use the road, walk the road, every day. So it's important information for us. Really does drive the design. Some key decisions get made.
And that project is still in the early design phase, but plans include roundabouts, turn lanes, curbs, and bike and walking paths.
Happening today, Sussex County Planning and Zoning is set to discuss a conditional use request for a homeless encampment on Route 1. It's called Taros. Code Purple at the Cape is making this request, and Site Director Mike Agnew has been working to bring this community back. Tents were placed at the old Troop 7 lot in Lewis during the fall. That was a state police facility. And if the Planning and Zoning Commission grants approval, the request could be taken up by Sussex County Council.
Also happening today at that same meeting, possible action on a proposal to bring more businesses and apartments to Lewis. That's at this farm property on Route 24. The area is right near the Beacon Middle School, and landowners are asking the Sussex Planning and Zoning Committee for a zoning change. They are requesting to change that area from agricultural residential to a C4 planned commercial district. If that project is ultimately approved, construction is expected to be completed in 2032. The Sussex County Planning and Zoning Committee meeting is tonight at 5 p.m.
New this morning in Delaware, a push to restrict book bans in public schools and libraries. House Bill 119, known as the Freedom to Read Act, would protect access to books by preventing the removal of them based on ideological, religious, or personal objections to an author's background or content. According to PEN America, the 2023-2024 school year saw more than 10,000 book bans nationwide. Disputes over the books would go to a state review committee. House Bill 119 has been assigned to the House Administration Committee.
Money talks today in Frankfort. According to the town, officials will gather to discuss the budget. This is for fiscal year 2026. The special council meeting takes place tonight at 6 p.m. at the town hall. And new overnight tensions hitting a high at a Georgia town hall on Tuesday. Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene was interrupted several times by protesters, leading to arrests.
CNN's Reed Binion shows us how lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are facing concerns from voters.
Tempers flared as Washington lawmakers faced constituents at town halls on Tuesday. Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene was interrupted several times by protesters at her town hall in Georgia, with police forcibly removing people from the event, arresting 3 individuals and using stun guns in 2 instances. Greene dismissed the interruptions and moved on.
Thank you to our great police officers.
She displayed some critical constituent questions about the Trump administration on a projector, reading them out loud, and responding in at least one case by pushing back.
Unfortunately, you're being brainwashed by the news that you're watching. A lot of Democrats pride themselves on being educated, and I suggest they educate themselves better.
In Iowa, Republican Senator Chuck Grassley took a different tack, mostly listening to concerns about the Trump administration.
I'm trying to recapture the constitutional authority of Article 1, Section 8, one of the 18 powers of Congress.
Democrats also faced pressure from constituents Tuesday, listening to criticism that they're not fighting hard enough to combat Trump and Republicans.
I hear the criticism that we're not doing enough. I'm never going to lie to somebody as a politician. I can't do things in the minority that I think people wish I could do. So I'm doing what I can do.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Got a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, Delaware seeks safety suggestions. We'll tell you how you can give your thoughts to the Office of Highway Safety and what topics are already front of mind.
Also, we look to see if Sussex Academy girls soccer team can continue their hot streak as they took on Indian River.
And student appointment applications will tell you how Delaware students can help impact future programs and policies for their peers. Stay with us on CoastTV News Today.
We salute Lloyd McAllister. Lloyd McAllister served with honor and bravery as a navigator aboard a B-24 bomber in the China-Burma-India theater during World War II. His heroic actions and personal sacrifices played a vital role in our nation's victory over Japan. Lloyd's unwavering commitment to duty embodies the spirit of the U.S. Army Air Forces, always ready to fly, fight, and win.
Spicer Brothers and CoastTV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a CoastTV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
Just about 5:43 on our Wednesday morning. Dry tech cam showing some daylight out there in Ocean City, a few clouds and some blue skies or starry skies, 50 degrees. And we're looking at, well, some clouds, some blue skies on the satellite picture. We'll call it mostly clear to partly cloudy as we're looking at a chilly northwesterly flow, seeing some snow showers across the mountains of West Virginia up into Pennsylvania. It will be a cool day across the area. And we're seeing those temperatures now in the 40s to around 50 in Ocean City. 49 in Georgetown to 47 in Delmar. Winds right now gusting around 15 to 20 miles per hour, but they'll be picking up throughout the day. So what size coffee? I'm going large. No XL today because it's relatively mild out the door, not too bad. 60 degrees later, breezy and cooler. Call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone, sponsored by Brockstead Mandalas Federico.
That's twice this month I think I have you on a large, not an extra large, Bob. All right, you move along. A quick traffic alert in Georgetown. Right now, there's an emergency road closure of Cokesbury Road. This is between Seashore Highway and Hastings Farm Road. A crossroad pipe is being repaired, and DelDOT says this should be done on Thursday.
New this morning, an opportunity for Delaware students to make a difference. Applications are now open for the State Board of Education student member. According to the Board of Education, the student would be a non-voting member and give lawmakers insight on views and perspectives from their peers. The 11th or 12th grader must attend a Delaware public school and live in the first state. The board says applications are due May 5th.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Sussex Academy came into last night's game on a roll. The reigning Henlopen champs were seeking their third straight win and fifth in their last 6 games. And they were on home turf, welcoming in Indian River. The 6-2 Seahawks hosting 4-2 IR in an exciting Henlopen matchup. The deadlock finally breaks in the 29th minute. Deborah Williams heads it home off the corner. The junior makes it 1-0 Seahawks. 3 minutes later, Indian River says we can do that too. Allison Tucker takes it down the field, one defender to beat. Check this out. Fires from an impossible angle. It bounces through the hands of Ella Sprucebank and in. IR ties it at 1, but in the second half, Lightning strikes twice. Another corner, another Williams header to clinch it. Sussex Academy wins its 3rd straight game behind a 2-1 victory. And in minor league baseball, the Shorebirds kicked off their road series against the Carolina Mudcats. Delmarva fell 11-10 and will look to even out the series tonight at 6:30 p.m. Make sure to download the DSN app and subscribe to DSN Plus so you don't miss any of our coverage. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day, everyone.
And coming up tonight on DSN at 4, we got Bayside Conference softball when Mardella hosts North Dorchester. Then it's the final score at 10:30. And on the DSN Plus app, along with that softball game, here are your exclusives. At 4, Indian River takes on Smyrna in boys lacrosse. Bennett plays Cambridge South Dorchester. At 5:30, Decatur takes on Queen Anne's. That's also in boys lacrosse. And Sussex Tech and Odessa meet also at 5:30.
Music and movie news now. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
Wasn't it something? And I'm older than dirt, and they still seem to like what I do.
Barry Manilow is hitting the road one more time. The iconic singer-songwriter has announced a final run of North American concert dates beginning May 23rd in Pittsburgh. He's hardly retiring. Manilow has an ongoing Las Vegas residency that he'll return to after his arena tour.
Every year that you live, that world will get bigger and brighter.
The first full trailer is out for The Life of Chuck. Tom Hiddleston leads the cast of the drama based on a Stephen King novella. The Life of Chuck opens in theaters June 13th. Star Wars Day, May 4th, Heritage Auctions is putting some rare items on the block, such as a set of 12 factory-sealed minifigures and another figure set featuring Boba Fett, both of which could fetch 6 figures at auction. Other big items include a huge 24-sheet billboard poster from 1977 and Pedro Pascal's helmet from Season 1 of The Mandalorian. Bidders, may the 4th be with you, always. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
If you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
We're seeing dry roads, good visibility on the Tidal Health Cam right now in Salisbury, and it's going to be a cool and breezy day. Then protect your plants tonight. We could see some patchy frost depending on if the winds die down, and then warming up into the Easter holiday weekend. Not looking too bad at all. I'll have your forecast details coming up in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Time is now 5:50 and we are taking a live look outside at Salisbury this morning. And Bob, you were saying protect those plants. It's getting colder. Sorry to hear about your lemon tree, though. You said you don't think that survived, but here's a warning to everyone else.
Well, at least it wasn't because of the frost. It's because I think I over-fertilized my lemon tree, and now it's just a big stick sticking out of the dirt. So hopefully, with the warmer weather coming, I can salvage my lemon tree. It's going to stay inside tonight regardless, and make sure you cover your tender plants or bring them in. We could see some patchy frost possibly away from the coast, with temperatures maybe dipping into the mid-30s. And then after tomorrow morning, we should be out of the woods. Then you can leave your plants outside. And this morning, we're well above freezing. 47 in Del Mar, 48 Bethany Beach, 48 in Redden, and 49 in Ocean City. We're seeing a westerly wind right now. That's pretty light, around 6 to 12 miles per hour, but gusting to 17 at Indian River Inlet and Seaford as well. 21 miles per hour in Ocean City. And they'll be gusting over 30 miles per hour, I think, later in the day. So make sure you secure those outdoor items. As we're seeing some blue skies and some clouds, we'll call it partly cloudy right now. I think that's the case most of the day as we're in a northwesterly flow. A cold front moved through yesterday. Even seeing some snow showers across the mountains of West Virginia through Pennsylvania and into New York. We're not going to see the moisture, but we'll definitely get the modified effects of the colder air moving out of Canada with strong high pressure back to the west. That high slides to the east near to us or over the top of us tomorrow morning. If it's over the top of us in the morning, then we will see a frost. Really depends on the the winds. This morning on Futurecast, we're looking at temperatures in the mid-40s and then low 50s by mid-morning. You see the arrows changing color to that golden yellow hue. That means that we're looking at windy conditions through today. By 1 p.m., upper 50s inland, a little cooler at the coast, and then lower 60s around 4 p.m. with windy conditions. But at least we'll see some sun and some clouds as well. And then by this evening, the winds drop down. Just how much do they drop off? If they go calm, then we definitely have that chance of patchy frost inland. If they stay up a little bit, then temperatures will be a little warmer. But right now, we're thinking around 36 to 38 degrees inland areas. 36 is cold enough for frost. Lower 40s at the beaches. By Thursday afternoon, we're looking at temperatures once again in the low 60s, a little cooler for the coast. And then we're looking at lower 40s into Friday morning, not as cold. Those winds today gusty over 30 miles per hour at times. And then those winds, I don't think totally die down by tomorrow morning. That means I think the chances of frost are kind of scattered, patchy at best. So make sure you protect your plants anyway as we go into tomorrow morning. And then down the road at the end of the month, we're looking at temperatures above normal. That's looking good. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast, lower 60s today and tomorrow with that frost chance tomorrow morning. 70 on Good Friday, 80 on Saturday. Then a little cooler, but still pretty nice on Easter Sunday with a high of 72.
Thank you, Bob. The Delaware Office of Highway Safety is looking for help to make roads safer. Tuesday was the first of 4 public forums giving neighbors across the state a chance to share their biggest concerns about road safety, from speeding to distracted driving. No topic was off the table here. Officials say that while traffic fatalities have been on a downward trend, meetings like last night's help keep that momentum going.
We want people to feel like they're being heard. We want to take what your traffic concerns are and turn it into maybe a new campaign to help change driver behavior. We want to see safer behaviors out on the roadways.
And for more information about meeting locations and times, you can visit the Delaware Office of Highway Safety's website.
It is 5:56 this morning, and it's time to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
And our coastal pet of the day, celebrating a birthday on your screen. Check out Bruce, everybody. Bruce is 16 years old.
Aw,
yeah, we hope you had a
Bruce.
great day. A little belated birthday wishes from us here. Bruce was submitted us by Nadine in Ocean View.
And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
If you do that, if you take a look at your screen, in the middle upper part there, you'll see that QR code. All you have to do is scan that to get your friends to us here, and then you can watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
And the time is now 5:57, so we're going to take another look at your forecast.
Yeah, Bob, look at that little breezy day today.
Yeah, I think a lot breezy today. We're going to see those winds over 30 miles per hour later on as we're in the upper 40s this morning, then warming into the 50s with a mix of sun and clouds, close to 60 this afternoon. And fasten those outdoor items because we're looking at gusts over 30 miles per hour. Paul Davis, 10-day forecast. Protect your plants tomorrow morning, a low of 36. 62, sunshine on Thursday. Good Friday, up to 70, up to 80 on Saturday. Cooling down, but still, I think, pretty pleasant into Easter Sunday, 72. And then looks like pretty dry Monday through Wednesday of next week, and then maybe a little rainier by Thursday and Friday.
Bob, and coming up in our next hour, lacking representation after another no-show day in Dover for District 20. Stel Parker Selby, the plans being made to challenge the Democrat in the next election. That and more when Coast TV News Today continues.